I'm Kristen Tippett, and me and my partner, John Porter, had a baby in the NICU last May 2020 during the pandemic. So a little bit about that. I had a pretty normal pregnancy and I was being taken care of well. I was taking care of myself and everything was going according to plan. I went into labor a little after 38 weeks, which is very normal for me. This is my fourth baby, and had a pretty fast delivery, about 5 hours. Really intense, but fast. And he came out, he was perfect. He was a great size and everything seemed great. And then he started looking a little shivery and they checked his blood sugar and it was low. And they put him under the warmer and they wrapped him all up and I had to go for another medical procedure. So I was actually gone for a little bit. And then when I came back, he was just wrapped up with John and they checked his blood sugar and it was still low. And so basically what ended up happening was he had a very unexplained case of hypoglycemia. Sometimes babies born will have a little bit of hypoglycemia before they eat, or just for whatever reason, if there's like a rocky delivery or something like that. There's lots of other reasons why they might, but none of those applied to me. So we were very confused and overwhelmed because we had just had this new baby. We're so excited. And they're telling us they don't know why has low blood sugar and why he's going to need interventions. So they gave him an IV. They started giving him sugar to up his blood sugar. And it just wasn't really getting as high as they wanted it to, even when he was on an IV. And they had him in the special nursery. And so I was in a room by myself and then he was in the special nursery. So he was not in our room with us. I had to go into the special nursery to see him and it was kind of unpleasant. He was in a bed with a bunch of other babies in the same room with bright lights on all the time. He was hooked up to IVs and other monitoring devices. And because it was a pandemic, John and I had to take turns going to see him. So I would pump and bring colostrum and breast milk in to try and feed him. But John couldn't be there for that. And it was very hard. It was very just sad and hard because we didn't know what was going on. We couldn't be all together as a family at all for the first few days of his life. And then they still couldn't figure out what was going on. He wasn't getting better. So after I was going to be discharged from my room, they said he needs to go over to the NICU, which is the neonatal intensive care unit. So this is where babies go whenever they're born medically fragile, early, with abnormalities, with diseases and issues, whatever it is. This is where they go to be cared for by specialists. So special nurses, special doctors, and other types of specialists. And so that's where we had to go. And we went and checked in. We got all settled in the NICU and he was there for 22 days. And part of that was because as they were giving him a different type of IV through his belly button, they gave him a staph infection. I mean, the staph lives on your skin, but the procedure in which what they were doing is what ended up giving him the staph infection. So then he had to be on IV antibiotics for 14 days and he was unable to regulate his blood sugar. This experience was one of the most difficult things that I've ever gone through. And like I said, I have 3 other children, never had any sort of complications or issues or situations like this. John had never had a baby, and so this was his first, and also very, very overwhelmed. When we left, we were angry, we were sad, we were happy to be home, but we were also like, what do we do now? You know, what was this even about? Like it resolved, but we were just kind of left with a lot of questions and a lot of feelings, and we didn't know what to do with those. And so we felt like, well, we could take one of 2 routes. We could be angry and we could kind of look into making a fuss at the hospital for what happened, or we could create something good. We could create something that would help other people who were going through this situation. And so that's what we decided to do because it felt better to both of us. And we both came from nonprofit backgrounds. And so we decided the best way we could do this was to create a nonprofit. And that's what we did. We created LOGiC.baby. And it's called LOGiC.baby for all of the first letters of the children's names in our family. So L for Louise, O for Otter, G for George, little I, and then C for Charlotte. And so that's what we did. And our whole aim was to help families going through this experience. And what we ended up doing was creating an amazing program that I'm very proud of and excited about called NICU Channels. And what it is it's a video platform. It's an app that parents can download on their phone. And when they have it on their phone, they have access to all kinds of specialists, former NICU parents, all different content in the form of videos, talking about everything ranging from advocacy to confidence building, how to engage with your baby in the NICU, how to take care of your mental health, all different types of tools that you can have while being in the NICU and getting through this experience. And it is chock full of amazing stuff. And we are so excited to have this resource available to families. And so it is free. Anyone who is interested can go on our website, which is LOGiC.baby, and sign up and get going with the app. They can engage with us. They can ask questions to the experts. We have a neonatologist. We have NICU nurse practitioners, NICU nurses. We have NICU OTs. We have everyone because everyone knew that this mission was extremely important and wanted to be involved. And so we are very excited. We hope that you are very excited and check us out to see what we have to offer people to try and get through this extremely tumultuous, life-changing time.